Hi there. Welcome to episode 15 of the Healing Hut. It's the first day of fishing for the year, so our quiet little lake that only we were on now has boats and sounds, and which is a good thing. I enjoy this time of year. Spring is trying to work its way into our winter and push it out of the way, which I'm hoping it does. We've had a lot more rain. I really have a lot of things to talk about. This problem with Puget Sound has come to a head, and I'll describe that to you, as well as things I got done this week. I am so glad you're here. Come on up to the cottage and I'll tell you everything that's going on. Hey, thanks so much for coming again. This is episode 15, as I said, of the Healing Hut, and there's been a lot happening since I talked to you last. Probably the most important and exciting thing to me is that finally, after 6 weeks, I've resolved the problem with the Puget Sound Power Company. Now, I had spent hours and hours on paperwork. I did research of our property going all the way back to the early 50s. They said they had an easement on our property in 1953, which requires me to tear down the cottage. First, there was an electrical code violation, they said, but then when I protested that, they came back and said, no, it's an easement. You're gonna have to tear it down. That's a big problem. So I got my paperwork and I looked it over. I saw nothing about an easement, but I'm not a surveyor. So I hired a surveyor and went to their office and gave them all this paperwork, I think 7 or 8 pages of paperwork. And they got back to me by the end of the day and they said, we're not going to come out and survey because there is no easement on your property. It is mentioned in 1953 that Puget Sound Power had the right to run a power line across our property, but there was nothing about an easement. So I took that message from the surveyor, sent it to Puget Sound, the guy I've been working with, and I heard nothing for about 3 weeks. And then, as if nothing had ever happened, I get an email and said, oh yes, go ahead and we'll show you how to dig your pits so we can run power to the cottage, as if nothing ever happened. So that's over. But that was a lot of heartache and worry for nothing. So I'm going to take a little bit different format this time with the updates. I'm going to try and keep this a little bit shorter. I'm not going to really show you work I've done because I'm not sure if that's meaningful to you. I'm going to tell you about the work I've done and then issues I'm dealing with and all that. I'm starting to make good progress, and a lot of that has to do with the weather being a little bit warmer. It's the last few days it's raining and cold again. But also my health has been a little better. And someone mentioned people come to this video not to learn how to build cottages. I have a unique perspective, and one, I'm doing this as cancer therapy for myself, trying to fight the self-pity, the fatigue. It takes a lot of manpower to do all this work, and that's good for my health. So I do want to mention the cancer in a way. I'm always hesitant because some people, I learned in my early days when I was very sick, that you can't really talk about cancer to the public. I don't know, there's a stigma attached to it. I think it's their fear that they could get cancer. If I said I was a chain smoker for 50 years and got lung cancer, they could deal with that a little bit. But when it just comes out of the blue, nothing I did wrong, that scares people. But anyway, I've been accused of just saying the word cancer. Someone would say, don't feel sorry for yourself. Okay, give me a break. Can I not even say that word? And that's what it was in the beginning. So I am careful. I don't want to sound like I'm in self-pity. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my health. And, my cancer was really bad. And for 2 years, I was very, very sick. And then probably 3 years, the third year wasn't much better. But then I finally went on a treatment that knocked my cancer out so far. For almost 2 years, I've been in complete remission. But I do have residual health problems. I'm still in renal failure from the cancer back 5 years ago. And the treatments themselves, they really crush the immune system and makes me very vulnerable. So the last time I posted, I'd been sick. I had bronchitis again for the third time. It's always toying with going into pneumonia. And then another, I hate to be graphic, but another health problem. Well, one is not so graphic. I have a lot of fatigue. Now, I'm going to pause to say, I know there's people watching this who are far sicker than me, and I understand that. And I'm not feeling sorry for myself. Certainly, I know I have friends with cancer. They're doing much, much worse. And I am deeply grateful for where I am. But the other issue I've been dealing with is that the chemo causes me to have a stomach flu-like syndrome at least once a week. Then got to every other day. And I'm talking about 2 or 3 hours, cramps in the bathroom, feeling terrible. And that was going on. Finally got to be every single morning. So I'd run up here to the cottage, put one wire in, run back, feel really sick in the bathroom, come back and forth. But anyway, 3 weeks ago, I had an IVIG infusion, which is a human-donated antibody. Excuse me, and that made a huge difference. The bronchitis I was dealing with went away overnight, almost literally, as did the stomach flu symptoms. And I've had just a touch of that since then, but not this daily thing that really slowed me down. So the point I'm trying to make, I've made a lot of progress. I'm feeling much better the last 3 weeks. Tomorrow, I go in for my monthly labs to check on the cancer, and I'll do an infusion of my miracle drug, daratumumab. It's always a risk that when I go in, my cancer is going to be back out of control again. And then I think the whole cottage will shut down as I have to do some serious treatments, CAR-T or biphasic. Anyway, these other very aggressive treatments going in the hospital, so like bone marrow transplant. So anyway, let me tell you what I've accomplished. And I've accomplished a lot more. I actually have 3 circuits of wiring done. I'll just show you around here a little bit. I've got this main room is all done. All the wiring is done. The lights are wired in. And it took a long time, a lot of work, drilling the holes. And I'd run into problems when I get to corner beams, trying to turn the corner with the wire and the holes. And you can't see this room. The bathroom is almost done. I ran out of wire yesterday, and I'll come back and finish. It'll probably take me 30 minutes to run one more wire. My mechanical room, I've almost got it wired. I got a little bit more work. I have my electrical box in. I'm going to start hooking that up together here soon. So that's what I've accomplished on the inside. I'm going to show you what I've done on the outside. So again, I think, what do people want to see? So I talked about cancer. The other thing that's a little bit unique to me is I'm using a lot of recycled materials, like, my old Civil War era beams that I still love, my old French door, which I still love. The front's going to be cladded in stone. But I got tired of doing wiring. I moved my workshop outside, and you won't be able to tell. This wall in front of you is done. It's sided. And I got all the stuff leaning against it. But now some people will look at that and say, oh, that's awful. All those beaten up old boards and nail holes in them. But that's the look I've been wanting. I want people to look at this place and say, wow, that's like 150 years old. And a lot of people would not use recycled materials. But there's several advantages to recycled materials. One, they don't go to a dump, a landfill. They come to my house. I use them. I love the look. I love the old look. That's what I'm going for. It has some challenges because they're all full of nails, and it's hard to cut them with saws when you're run into nails and things like that. So this is done all the way up. The siding has blemishes on it. I've started on the other wall. I'm going to do this whole lean-to in wood siding rather than stone. And I've started here, and I'll probably finish that this week. And if I have enough wood left over, I'm going to do this other wall right in front of you. Now, the other thing I got accomplished yesterday, you may not remember, but I had cut these beams out for the door frame and put finish on it, and they turned as white as milk. And it was due to moisture being in my, I think I used, well, anyway, I used some tung oil kind of stuff on it. And it just turned the wood white. And I spent hours and hours grinding that off. I mean, you can see a little trace. Well, no, that's just a reflection. Just tiny traces of that white. But anyway, I think it looks really good to me. I'm biased, but I think it looks good. So this wall will either have stone around it, like the rest of the cottage, or if I have enough wood left over, I'm gonna put wood on it. I got some siding under this roof here drying out. That's been the problem. My wood was all wet, and that's what I had to stop. That's where I am. Things are moving along pretty well. I'm gonna keep these videos short. I feel like I did something wrong. You know, making these videos is not a huge deal to me. I enjoy doing it, and it gives me something else to do. But my audience was going up and up, and time before last, it was like 550 people viewed it. And then last time, it dropped down to about 130. I can't remember now what views. So I feel like, okay, I must have done something wrong. Either that, or people would say, okay, I'm tired with that story. So I'm trying to make this shorter. My wife said in the beginning that if these are 5 minutes or over 5 minutes, no one's going to watch them. I'm biased on that too, because I watch YouTube videos all the time, and a lot of them are people building stone houses and things, and they're an hour long. But those people are experts. Most of them are. Some of them are like me, a novice, and I'm learning from them. So that's why they have to be longer. I don't think you want to watch me work. I can certainly add video clips of me working. I don't know if it would be a benefit or just more of these updates like I'm going to do today. It is a beautiful spring day. The mist is on the mountain. Lovely. It's a lovely time to be alive, really. Anytime's a lovely time to be alive, when sometimes you feel really lucky that you're even here on Earth. So thanks for coming. Share this to people that you know they're dealing with chronic illnesses, that need some oomph to get going, to try to fulfill their dreams even when they feel sick. And that was why I was talking about my cancer day. I'm not looking for pity. I really am not. I had so much self-pity 5 years ago. I think it's natural when you feel so awful and your life is so limited. It's just a natural human response. But I knew then I had to do something. I had to do something to focus on. I get up every morning now, and I can't wait to get up to the cottage, even if I'm sick, and work on it. And that's the therapy of this. You guys have a wonderful week. Share this. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe so you get updated every time there's a new video uploaded. Thanks again. Bye.